the famous companies around, right? Yeah, so you guys should be able to know Schlumberger and Velesto. Anyone who doesn't know Schlumberger and Velesto? Cool, you guys are known.
Not bad.
Not bad. Heard about university students are good.
So you're going to be like, Schlumberger, what? Is it a burger or something? Because I got that once. I'm like, okay, cool.
That was a poster going around on the internet. Schlumberger.
Yeah.
Schlumberger.
Junior in the oil and gas industry with Schlumberger and also very senior, not very senior, in also another oil and gas industry. So how did you find oil and gas industry? How did you first enter?
Okay, first of all, sorry. I would say like, don't think of me like, oh, American degree, oh, that's so cool, like, so up. Like, no, it's not. It's actually like, I'm more impressed in the locals here because, I don't know, you guys have that grit more than, I would say, Americans, because, I don't know, that's what I've experienced so far, because I've worked with some UTP students, I've seen some of the graduates from UTP and some Harry Watt here. You guys are like a lot more hardworking, like, well, not all of them are really bad from America. I'm just saying that do not compare like that, because personally, I don't like it because I think you guys are like a little bit better. So yeah.
I disagree.
But yeah, what was the question again? I'm sorry. I like to
How do you find yourself in
Who's the dinosaur?
Sorry, how did I get it?
How do you feel when you first entered the oil and gas industry?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, definitely it was scary. I mean, I know it was a male-dominated industry. I actually wanted to be in the field. I don't know why they didn't put me in the field. Probably because I came to an interview with heels. I'm like, she can't be in the field. Like, no. A lot of people have that kind of like mindset. I'm like, okay, but actually I want to be in the field because, you know, I'm very like, what's the word? I would say ratchet, you know? Like, I like going out. I don't like being in the office that much.
Adventurous.
Yeah, I like adventurous. Thank you. I cannot have words today. Yeah, I think it was scary, but I think maybe Shirin has a different opinion, like, because I don't know how Velesto's, the population, like, guys and girls, but for Schlumberger, when I started coming in, it was already, like, diverse in terms of the gender balance already, so I wasn't feeling so scary, and Schlumberger itself, we also have, like, groups, like, for women as well, like, a woman in, like, in Schlumberger kind of thing, so, which is kind of nice. So, it was scary, but I actually enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it.
What about you, Shirin?
Well, I think I tripped into oil and gas industry because I'm actually from accounting fraternity, so I do not have any kind of background for oil and gas. How I tripped into it is that one of my assignments when I was with UNW Corporation was to go and find a business that we can diversify into. That was in 1998. That's when the the Asian economy crashed. So oil and gas, UNW had to go and find a different business other than automotives. So I've been looking at various businesses around, and oil and gas looked good at that point of time. So I have been with, at that point, I've been with UNW for 5 years. So at that point of time, I requested from my boss, can I just follow my project? And he says, okay. So that's how I got into the oil and gas industry. I have absolutely no background, and looking back now at my proposal to the board, it looks extremely naive. But there you go. That's how I got into the oil and gas industry.
That's impressive. Very different.
Yeah, sure. Like, I actually didn't plan to go into oil and gas. I want to be a broadcast journalist on TV. I actually almost signed with Astro.
Wow.
But then, Lokman, we were recruited by the same recruiter, actually. He called me the next day like, hey, can you come to Schlumberger? It's the last stage of the interview. I was like, okay. So I went, and then he actually gave me the job. So I was like, so I told Astro, like, you know, I can't, well, it's a waste for me having a chemical engineering degree. So I'm like, wow, I love being on like TV, like, hey everyone, welcome.
You were a host as well, right, for this one program on sports?
Yes. So I was more broadcast journalist on sports. I like sports. Yeah, so now I'm just, that's why I feel like probably some of you guys have seen me on conferences, so I'm pretty much like a dedicated MC for Schlumberger. They've been exploiting my talents, not paying me more.
I would say the woman in the oil and gas industry is not focally like for projects, you know, like computers all the time. We have our own hobbies, you know. Do you guys agree? We have our own hobbies, and we get to enjoy that kind of work-life balance. Talking about work-life balance before we go into hobbies, how is it like for you, Shirin, for your work-life balance?
Can I say it, COO? I mean, can I say what work-life balance do we have? Okay, it helps also that we enjoy our work. We do, don't we? It's enjoyable, so you don't feel like you're working when you are working. So
It's nice.
yeah, that's how I put it.
What about you, Sarah? How do you feel like your work-life balance is?
I think I still prioritize my work-life balance, but then I feel like because I'm still new in Schlumberger, so that's when you gotta work hard, study a little bit more. But I like the Schlumberger culture because all of them, even my managers, are really into work-life balance. Like after 6, they would not email you. They would not text you over the weekend. If you have a day off, like you have taken vacations, they're not gonna try to contact you or anything. Like they will be like, unless it's urgent, unless the platform's gonna blow up tomorrow, then they're gonna like text you like, hey, this is urgent. So far, everyone's been respectful of everyone's time. Well, maybe because I'm not in the field, my job is not exactly real time. So, but yeah, I think my life in work life in Schlumberger has been balanced so far. So it depends. It's like a balance, like which ones you need to prioritize.
When
and
do I
stuff like
sign
that.
up, please?
You gotta call her.
What about like for those who are in operating, because you guys are in services companies, right? What do you guys have colleagues? Your stories on how the operators do in their work-life balance?
Okay, myself, I'm with business development. Essentially, we are not out in the fields. However, I did speak to a couple of my compatriots in my sector, which is well intervention. Well intervention, and they said that they need a lot of support from family, spouses, mother-in-laws, friends. Yeah, they need a lot of support. For you to be able to make it out on the field, you need a lot of your societal support, that's for sure.
Would you say family would be one of the cause for you not to advance in your career?
For them, again, I'm saying this from other people's perspective because I certainly have that freedom to do whatever I want to do. For them, it's definitely a very supportive spouse, a husband that understands that they need to be offshore, they are going to work with all these men for 28 days, offshore. Mother-in-law to take care of the kids, or some kind of support to take care of the kids, like, maybe husband works at home or something like that. So definitely need some kind of support out there.
I would say for those girls out there who wants to enter the oil and gas industry and get married, probably you get a very supportive husband, yeah? Or if they're not, you make them be. When
I spoke to them, quite a number of them actually have spouses in the oil and gas industry. So be on the lookout among your colleagues.
I think that way is right. I feel like that way is easier for them, like when both of them in oil and gas, they understand the busyness. Like, I think because it's different, like especially if you're like in your Velesto, right? Like you understand the work, like the workload in Velesto.
Right.
Maybe she doesn't understand the workload in Schlumberger. Like different companies probably about the same understanding, but in the same company, like okay, yeah, I understand. You have to like go home at like 9, blah blah blah, meeting the managers and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Shirin's right. Like having like a good support system, family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriends, husbands, spouses. So yeah. I think that's right.
In any situation that we don't have supportive members, what is it that makes you sustain yourself in the industry? Like imagine if we were lucky enough to have our family support system very good of our choices in life, but imagine those who don't. What do you think about them? If you are in their shoes, what is it that you can do?
So, that's actually a tough question because I can't really actually relate. I mean, yeah, I'm not like close with my family as well. I've been by myself. Like they put me in United States by myself. Like, okay, go.
It wasn't your choice.
Well, it was my choice. I got a scholarship, and then I was supposed to go with like 4 other guys. So we went on the first flight, and then during the connection, I lost them. I thought they were already on the plane because we were so rushed that time. And then I got into the plane. I couldn't find them. I'm like, where are my friends? And then apparently when I came to Denver, I don't know how they contacted me, like, Sarah, you left us at the airport, we were waiting for you. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't see. So I came all alone in the States. Right, what am I supposed to do now? So yeah, I mean, I think at that point, if you really like feel like you're alone, try to reach out to someone. So that at that point, I was reaching out to some of the seniors I have. I mean, you're not gonna be alone. The fact that you are in a college right now, you have other support systems like the SPE KLS, for example. And at work, for me, I'm not sure about Velesto, like for me, in Schlumberger, we have a lot of groups. Like I said, one of them is called Connect Women. So you connect with the woman in the Schlumberger department, and then there's also like a flow assurance group kind of thing. So trying to reach out, trying to find a mentor, trying to find like a mentor-mentee, like a peers kind of thing. So yeah, I think trying to reach out, find someone.
Sounds like a good advice, but also if you're like me, I like to find my own way. I pretty much thrive doing things alone. Denver would have been a nice place to be thrown into. However, I was in Sudan alone during the war. So, yeah, people are just like, what are you doing there? Well, I've got work. We've got tender to deliver to the companies over there. But, you know, when you're traveling alone, you make friends. So, even if you don't have family that supports you, you make friends along the way, and that's sort of like keep you going. Greed also, I guess.
I would say the key takeaway is to maintain a good network. So, like Sarah said, from a society, and what from Shirin said is to create new friends. So, I would say networking is very important in any industry even. But I would say, in my own personal experience about networking, I think that's how I got where I am. I went a lot of experiences. I went to conferences in Dallas, Texas 2 years ago, and last year I went to London for All Money conference. No, amazing, but trust me, Malaysians' food are way much more amazing than London's. But true networking is, I think that's the most important key point.
Yeah, right? Like hopping off of that, because we were just discussing about networking just now, right? I know you guys are networking SPE, which is good. Keep going, keep the momentum on. But once you get a job, do not stop doing that, because that's where I actually did the real networking too. Like, because when I got it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't have to talk to people. I can just do my work. And then now when you come in Schlumberger, like, okay, you got a network. I have my own mentor, so we always have like this weekly kind of career development kind of thing. Like, how have you taught this? And then he would throw me questions like, okay, what's the difference between management and a leader? Kind of, you know, that kind of like heavy stuff on a Friday. I don't know why I did that, but
that sounds scary.
no, it's just something that you know you want to grow, right? So once you're in industry, like make sure do not stop the connection. Just keep talking. Doesn't have to be within your industry. Like right now, I'm meeting Shirin, like Velesto people, like some PETRONAS. So that's where you grow your network. Like just in case if you like quit your job or get fired or something. I don't know. I'm not hoping that, but at least you can try to reach out to other people in different industry that you can find. Get back up on your feet.
Make friends.
Make friends. That's important. Also, talking about you guys are traveling around, right? So, what if right now at this point of time, your company asks you to go around and have like an assignment, 2 years far away from a comfort zone? How do you guys want to take it?
I used to thrive in traveling. I love traveling. It just so happened my character, I love traveling, and I had energy for that. But thank goodness that's in the past.
Very much your age.
Yeah, thank goodness that's in the past, and I pretty much am in the office these days, and also because of the oil industry the way it is, I do not travel as far as I do anymore. I mean, like we're talking about Sudan, Iran, that's in the past. I remember traveling to Myanmar for the first time, and this is before Aung San Suu Kyi actually opened up the country. And I brought a camera with me. And it was so regimented that they asked me to open everything up, including my tender documents. So it's already nicely wrapped up, and you have to open it up because they do not want you to bring, contraband items, cameras, things that they do not want to be brought into the country. So those were the challenges of traveling at that point of time. But I guess the world has opened up pretty much now, so you don't have to face that sort of thing. Maybe Iran, but we don't travel there anymore these days. So traveling is interesting. It opens up your mind to things.
Would you say your experience would be different if you were a man, for example? if you're a guy, compared to being a girl with all these, maybe they have some restrictions towards women back then?
Well, my boss sent me out knowing fully well that I'm a woman. Right? No, that's the thing. I don't really look at myself of going out there as a woman going out in a while. I was just doing my job, and I was enjoying it because I love traveling. So
I think it would like back in the days, like UAE would be a little bit hard for the girls, right? Or no?
it was okay. It was
a
okay.
question.
Saudi, I have not been able to go on my own, and Libya. So for Libya, they would want either your father or your husband to come with you. Right, so there would be some kind of restriction for that sort of thing in certain countries. But in most places, as you were saying, UAE, nobody bothers about you actually. I mean, if you don't put yourself out there as somebody frail, nobody's going to look at you.
I mean, yeah, what she says is right. Like I think I'm the same as Shirin. I like traveling. I like going out of my comfort zone because that's when you learn. Like example, like if you have an exam tomorrow, everyone's just like, oh my god, I gotta look at this, and then you guys remember it like one day, and then but then you guys forget like the week after. But then what I'm trying to say is like when you're outside your comfort zone, you kind of feel like, okay, I'm not familiar with this, so what do I do? So when you find that way to understand something, that's why you learn the best. So that's how I do it in terms of work, or, well, in life in general. So yeah, I love traveling. I travel alone. You make friends along the way. I think I backpacked like Europe for like 2 weeks, like 5 countries alone. It was so much fun. So yeah, for me as a woman, I guess it depends. Some like it's better that you have companies because like Aina mentioned, sometimes it's hard because they see women as someone weak and stuff like that. Hence this whole forum about women in industry. But no, just show that you know how to take care of yourself, you know how to present yourself when you bring outside. Just be normal and presentable. So yeah.
The one takeaway that I have from all this traveling is to respect other people's culture. Okay, just another anecdote to share with you guys. I went to Vietnam with my boss. And the room was full of men, they're all engineers and they're all men. And they were wondering why was this lady traveling with the boss. So they didn't understand that a woman could be in a position to travel and do business.
I think that's why nowadays we have a lot of women empowering programs, right? So that we can train women who are about to enter the industry to be as powerful as the speakers that we have today. Right? Anyone else who doesn't feel like traveling alone? I always wanted to travel alone, actually.
You should try it.
But what's the fear about traveling alone?
I think the most concern is like safety, I would say, because you're just by yourself. A lot of people, I understand, like it's not something you're really, really comfortable with. Like for me, I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna go, I'm still young, might as well. And all my friends was like, oh, I can't make it, I have this, okay, bye. So, because I don't have time to wait on y'all, because I'm going. So, again, in life, if you keep waiting, and then they're like, oh yeah, I can go now, and then you can't go. I'm like, well, that's on you, you waited, yeah. But I think it's more on safety.
You've got to be streetwise. I think everywhere you go, safety should be number one on your mind, even in KL. I mean, like, if you're walking down the street with a mobile phone, you have a handbag hanging out there, somebody's just going to rip it off you. You don't expect other people to be any different than how it is here, right? So, safety, yes, is number one. Be streetwise. When something's going on in a country, like when I was in Iran, they had the Green Revolution, everybody was going to the university, stay away from that. When you're Indonesia and Malaysia just played Indonesia in badminton or football, stay away from that. So you got to be streetwise and stay safe.
Talking about safety and then those protests, last year when I went to London, it was an oil and money conference. It's such a funny name for a conference, like oil and money, right? So there were protesters going on. So like there was an old guy blaring the fire alarm off just because it's an oil money conference. They're destroying the planet, so everyone had to come down. And then the safety it's still the number one concern for everyone who was organizing the conference, right? So like Shell's logo, they cut off the S and becomes hell. So
Nice.
it's a funny thing. But actually, there were just 8 protesters back then. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. The oil and gas industry is being good. So basically, that is how the world is treating in terms of physical towards women. What about mental? Like giving technical challenges, does it differ to have different tasks between men and women, or were you guys given the same amount of high-level technical challenge? I would say.
Again, like I said, I cannot tell for the whole oil and gas industry because I'm new in Schlumberger and oil and gas industry itself. But so far I think we're pretty much at a good pace because, they're starting, like the oil and gas, even every industry right now is progressing towards the gender balancing. I did not get any discrimination in terms of tasks. I think they gave me even more work. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I personally do not have that, which is good, but I don't know if Shirin has a different thoughts on
Again,
that.
I'm from business development, and my scope pretty much is confined to contract, doing pricing, negotiation in terms of our terms and condition. However, before I can actually get into that, I need to understand the industry. So I actually had the opportunity to go offshore and experience offshore life. And unfortunately, I'm not on a stable platform. I was situated on a very unstable barge because we've got, monsoon season coming, and then when you've got currents and everything, so the barge is always moving. So it was, aside from that part, if you are queasy with being on a boat, my personal experience being offshore, very good. People respect you. And I think being respectful should be everywhere, isn't it? Not only in the office, but also just because they are roughnecks, just because they are the oilers, does not mean that they will not respect you. So, yeah, that's how I approach it.
Yeah, when you say offshore, I kind of remember my friend, he works at an offshore platform. Like, he told me, well, I know I was telling about we are going towards this diversity, gender balance thing, right? But I would say there is some oppression going on still, especially in offshore, I've heard. So I was having lunch with him, I was asking him, like, hey, how's the offshore? It's so much fun, because I want to go, they put me in the office. And then he was like, yeah, it was good, but then I feel bad for one of my colleagues, and he said, why? I asked him why. Oh, she was just doing yoga, sometimes they have a big field deck or something in the, ship. She was doing yoga, and then the FSM, which is the field service, the field manager or something, I forgot, called her up you cannot do yoga there because the guys are staring at you. I was like,
was she out in the open?
She was not really in the open. She was just there's a free space. You're just doing yoga. Imagine, and my friend told me there are some guys doing yoga at the same spot. He didn't say anything, but when the girl went there to just yoga
So
for
there
health,
is a slight discrimination.
there is going, but the mindset is not there. I wouldn't say there yet. It's close, but there are some going on. I think I do experience a little bit, but I kind of brush it off because I understand all this revolution going on. So they're still trying to adapting to change.
But if you guys are in power one day to make that change, what is it that you guys would inspire them, the guys or the girls side to do? Okay, for example, let's take the yoga for example. Would you say, continue yoga, do your thing, girl? Or would you say, I think let's go to the quieter space? Would you actually go out there, or would you guys lose out?
I would say be street smart about things and see what's the norm in your environment. I am not a scarf wearing person, but when in Sudan, I do what the Sudanese do, I wear a scarf. When in Iran, I wear the scarf. So you don't try to be the abnormal thing out there.
Just to the culture.
Yes, just adapt yourself to the culture. As I said earlier, respect the culture. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do the yoga, but I'll do it in my room. Because as a woman going offshore, you most likely than not have your own room or sharing with another lady. Sharing with another lady, another
Is that how it is? I've never been offshore, so I don't really know.
Sorry?
Do girls share only room with females?
I usually get my own room. I've been lucky because whenever I go, I'm alone. There's no other woman there, so I'm lucky enough to get that room on my own. But sometimes if there's not enough space, you will have to share with another person, and that's a woman. They won't. Well, in Malaysia, they don't usually get you to share with another man. So you can do your yoga over there. Just be street smart about it. You can still do whatever you need to. You usually do at home, but look at the environment. Look at what's the norm, and sort of like, adjust yourself accordingly.
And back to back again, it's about adapting to the culture and then maintain the network with the culture.
So you can do and you can be yourself, yeah. But with maybe certain taking into account other people's culture as well.
But to be honest, in my own very opinion, I'd still do the yoga.
I mean, maybe Shirin has a different view, but for me, because, okay, I understand if no one has done yoga there, then I would be like, why are you doing that? Because people said no. But if the guys do that too, and then she was just like being called up because she's doing it, then to me, I feel like, well, you should talk with the guys, like, what's up, guys? It's not cool, you know? Like, you don't have to sexualize her that way. Like, I mean, if everyone has the right to be someplace, then it should not be because, oh, that's one place. I feel like if I go there, people are gonna stare at me for some reason. No, because if you keep, like, for example, let's use the yoga because it's easier. So if you keep like, okay, I'm not gonna do it, then it gives the guys think like, okay, yeah, that's our spot, kind of thing. If you do it, like if you have a field manager saying like, hey, let her do her yoga. Why do you guys have to stare at her and stuff like that? You guys go about your business. We have a lot to do, kind of thing. So I think in terms of that, maybe you can try with talking first, maybe. So if talking doesn't work, then that's where you go with like actions and stuff. So yeah.
I agree for both perspectives, right? Yeah, it depends on the situation, yeah. But for me, myself, I'm very strongly opinionated on women. I'm a feminist.
Go girl, do whatever you need to do.
So anyway, I think those are the questions that I have set. Before we open the questions to the floor, would you guys have anything else to add? In terms
Anything to add? Not at the moment. So let's go with questions first, so like get the head going.
Right, do we have any questions?
Please, no hard questions. No hard questions, please.
Not as hard as mine, yeah?
I guess the boys can ask as well.
Please, everyone proceed. We accept the challenge.
Ladies first.
There's woman empowering there.
Aina, you can see the Slido questions from the phone, Yeah, the code is behind you on the projector. Right side, yes.
What do I do?
You go to Slido and you type the code, Petrocon WII. No, the other one, on the projector. Yeah.
Just write it down. It's not a QR.
You just type SLI.
Oh, just stop.
Wait. Maybe it's easier this way. Yeah, take the phone. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I did not expect it to be this much. It's a lot.
A lot of shy people.
Okay, I'll get the earliest question. It's 3 p.m. What challenges do women generally face working in the oil and gas industry, and what perks they have?
Well, I would say challenges. I think I've got experience in terms of they kind of like don't take you seriously. I get that for some reason because I don't know. Maybe I look like a bimbo, and then like I get that sometimes they think like when I say I work as an engineer, I'm like it's like what and then then sometimes they don't take you seriously, but not all of it. I got like a little bit some, and then I think the perks is like I said with all this movement like gender equality, they kind of like yeah you're a girl so that's good, so we have this program going on, so you have a lot of they kind of like push you towards a lot of stuff, a lot of opportunities within the oil and gas industry, which I think is a perk. I couldn't think of any. Shirin, do you have any?
I can't think of perks except for the travel, if you like to travel. In terms of challenges, the traveling can be quite challenging, and perhaps relocation. If you are the sort of homebody and you like your space and you suddenly have to move away for the next 2 years and be among strangers, that's going to be a little bit challenging.
What about if you have to move around and you have like your husband or you have kids?
Some husbands like to follow you, but some don't. Okay, so again,
Support.
yeah, so but this is again coming back to what you say. You have to have that talk, that heart-to-heart talk. You know, you marry me because of who I am, and this is who I am. I travel, okay, and I want to do all these challenging things. So help me be who I am. So you have to have that heart-to-heart talk with husband.
That's woman empowerment right there. I like how it sounds. I wanna do that.
Coming up, I think challenges. I wish Nabila was here because she can talk about the marriage part. Yeah, we're supposed to have one more speaker. She's already married. It will be more relatable. But yes, you have a question?
Yeah, according to the marriage and children, what is
For me, to reach out for the icon person you want to be in that position. Yeah. What about you guys?
You're talking about like how to spark interest in the girls going into the role, right?
Okay, let's put it simply. The question would be, the opportunity would be, all of the positions are filled. Right now, we would like to increase the diversity in people who actually have to lift pipe 12 hours a day for 28 days continuous. Right? So, because that particular position is hard work, it is rewarding because they are paid, quite generously. But at the same time, the challenge is 100% male dominated. How do we then articulate to say, women, come, let's go, and let's do it together, 50-50.
You know, Adrian, if you look in construction, you have the women lifting up heavy things at the construction site.
So they don't have that issue.
The thing is, when it comes to that level, the roughneck, right? It's not through education. They did not come through university. They come from the bottom. So open up that opportunities, open it up to women as well, because I don't think women know that they are welcome offshore. Whereas men, it's like, they go back to their kampong and then, you want to join me, you want to join me, you want to join me.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's been told to women, you want to come join me in offshore? Then, the first thing is that, where do I stay? I mean, like, if they are willing to stay in the Kongsi together with all the men, I'm sure they're willing to stay offshore on the rigs. But are we doing that? Are we approaching women, come and work? Because they are lifting things already on the construction sites.
No, we are. What I'm saying is the response is, so how do we do something different? Right, so here, because you guys are representing women, I would just like to have an idea so that I may carry it out. That's the thing.
I think it's different levels. When you're talking about roughnecks, again, they're not going to go into LinkedIn and I want to apply for a job as a roughneck there. You've got to go down to the ground and find a woman who has the grit, who has the energy, who wants to lift pipes 28 days, 12 hours a day. Yeah. You have to go and find her. She's there, she's outside. But are we going to be the first company to bring them in offshore? Are we going to have separate toilets for ladies?
I
Well,
think
we got to start from there.
I think it's more like Shirin said. It's more if they want it as well. Like for me, I would be like, I don't want to like pick up stuff. I want to do something else.
They might, because
For example, but if you find some girls that actually want to do it, and then you trying to advertise, like call them in, like again, like I said, it's more like a pathway. How can you advertise? Like how can you, as a female, do this? What is your contribution? What you will be doing every day? What's your accommodation? And do you get any kind of compensation, kind of like that? With maternity leave, they're probably going to think about that. So be as transparent as you can with the girls, especially because they're going to be scared lifting stuff with guys, probably. I would say in terms of trying to get in is transparency, and also probably add some compensation to that, like for girls you get extra days off or something, or like maternity, stuff like that. I would say, I don't know.
from management point of view or more cost, we shall run away from there.
I mean, if you really want to open up for girls, maybe compensation, because we have maternity stuff kind of thing going on.
In fact, I actually asked one of our trainee drilling engineer, Omar. He went for the interview, and I asked him how many girls were there in the class.
So as a start, we are Velesto Energy. We are sending for the very first time this year 2 ladies as our pilot project. So there is the incentivization, but we actually have to look for Pujo.
Yeah.
Really ask them, come on, we like to we do that. So what I'm saying is, the energy we put in, we do try. So we give the opportunity, and then we find somebody with please come. What I'm saying is, for the general public, the efforts of actually advertising, please come to us, because we cannot outreach to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So the challenge is, if the women of the industry are not taking up the quality throughout every single level, right? 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we will still be talking about the same thing, right? Because the variance of work is so much. So even if we make 50-50 on the shore-based office work, technical work, right? There will still be the imbalance on the actual execution of the work. So a lot of other countries have actually bridged that barrier, whether it's Canada, US, Europe, they have bridged the barrier. But for the Malaysians or the Asians, we have not bridged that. So, but anyway, it's just a thought-provoking question.
Just going a little bit into the background, I saw a statistic that said that there's more girls in universities these days, in Malaysian universities. However, when it comes to getting into the industry, when it comes to going to work, the girls are all gone. So where did they go? They are all in universities. They are passing with flying colors, doing better than the boys. But when it comes to getting into the workplace, they're all gone. The boys are dominating the workplace. We're not talking only about the oil and gas industry. Let's talk about the cosmetic industries. President of MOE are all men.
Okay, if you guys want to go into this, I mean, like, I'm thinking more of a bigger picture. It's more of a perception, the mindset. Because when you say, yeah, everyone's in a university and then just don't, like, afterwards they don't go in industry, right? I think it has something to do with the media as well. Because if you realize the media that's been showing in Malaysia, to be honest, is all about cinta. And then the girls have to stay at home and then kahwin anak datuk sana sini. So to be honest, it's like somewhat subconsciously making a lot of the Malaysian minds thinking like that, which is why I feel like it's hard for girls to actually break out of their shell. Because yeah, maybe you see the movies, they're like, oh, it's just nice a movie, but it is actually subconsciously affecting you. You don't even realize it. So this is more of a perception thing. It's kind of hard for to change that. I mean, it is going towards that, but it's going to take a while, unless we show a different kind of social content.
To add into it, like for example, like like we have different perceptions and different things, but maybe we can start promoting it as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe make something go public. Get some. Oh, what's going on with everyone?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we should because this is the people living. So I guess we shall conclude the forum. Yeah. So okay, we'll pass.
Any last question?
Any last question, by the way, from the crowd?
From the shy.
Yeah, we're giving just one more question.
Nah,
All right.
good.
Okay, that means we're good. All right. So I'll pass it back to you, David.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Aina. Thank you, Miss Aina. Thank you, Miss Aina, Miss Shirin, and Miss Sarah. That was a very fun and light-hearted forum and sharing session. So I believe we have a few strong take-home messages today, which are: number 1, networking is important. Number 2, be streetwise at work and outside. And quoting Miss Shirin directly, go for it, girls. So we would like to invite Petrocon Director, Mr. Alvaro Rizky, to present a token of appreciation to the forum panelists and moderator. So first, can we have moderator Ms. Aina Jailis to receive a token of appreciation? Next, the Assistant General Manager for Commercial and Contracts for Velesto Energy, Ms. Shirin Ismail.
Okay.
As well as Production Engineer for Schlumberger, Ms. Sarah Hannes Lokman. Can we have a group photo, please?
Thank you. Hands up, Maria. Black and black.
Yeah, it's really bit.
Yeah, you just squeeze it. Will it spill?